Hey everyone, I'm Zach, and today we have got something exciting lined up for you. We are diving into the world of assembly codes derived from C++ programs. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me introduce you to our awesome team. First up, we have Amanda, Carol Amirin, Nabila Batrisha, Wizian Zen, and the last one, me, Wan Muhammad Zaman. So our project is to make a program that prompts the user to enter the height of the pyramid. The height of the pyramid must be between 1 and 25. If the user enters a number outside of the range, then the program will prompt the user to enter a new height again and again until the input is between 1 and 25. And after that, the program will display the pyramid structure on the output screen. And this is the sample output. Next up, this is the C++ code that we refer to build assembly MIPS code. We used nested for loop to code the pyramid structure. Now, let's see our assembly codes. .data is where we define string constants. These strings include welcome messages, prompts for the user to enter the height of the pyramid, and characters such as new line, space character, and star character. The .text section starts with the declaration of the main function. The main function is the entry point of the program.
Hi everyone, I'm Oisensian. So I will be presenting about main, while loop, and upper bound. So for the main part, to print out the welcome message, we need to load the immediate value 4 into register V0. Means we are going to print out the string, and then we load address of prompt 1 into register A0, and then do the syscall, print out the string. Syscall means do it now. After that, we also do the same with the prompt 2 string. So we need to load immediate value 4 into register V0, means we are preparing to print out the string, and then load the address of the prompt 2 into register A0, and then syscall as well. For the second slide of the main, still the same, load immediate value 4 into register V0, and then load the address of prompt 3 into register A0, and then do the syscall. And then we're going to print out the string for prompt 4. So load immediate value 4 into register V0, then load address of prompt 4 into register A0, and then do the syscall. Now we come to the third slide of the main part. This part we need to read the user input. So to read the user input, we need to use the immediate value 5 and then load it into register V0, because 5 is the number we use to read the integer. So we do the syscall as well. Then move the variable store in the V0 into T0, means that the V0 have already stored the input, right? So we move the value V0 into T0. Now next we come to the first slide of while loop and upper bound. So to do the while loop, so we need to compare our inputs to see whether it's less than 1. If it is less than 1, by using BLT register T0, 1 and arrow input, we can know that if the register T0 is less than 1, so we directly go to the label arrow input, and then if it is not less than 1, so means that it will jump to the check upper bound. So now we come to the check upper bound. So we can see that we use BGT register T0, 25 and arrow input. So this one is usually we check the input whether it is greater than 25. If it is greater than 25, it also will print out the error message, which is come from the label of arrow input. For out the string ENDL, we need to load the immediate value 4 into V0, because we are preparing to print out the string, and then load the address of new line character into register A0, and then do the syscall as well. And then moving on to the second slide of while loop and upper bound. So we are going to print out the new line character again. So we load the immediate value 4 into register V0, preparing to print out the string, and then load the address of new line character into A0, and then do the syscall. When we need to do the loop, we need to initialize the I into a number. So we initialize the I into 1. We use LI register T1 and comma 1. And then after that, we directly jump to main 4.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I will be presenting about error input and main 4. For error input, we need to load immediate value 4 into register V0, which is syscall for print string. Then we load address of prompt 5 into register A0 and do the syscall. Syscall allows us to call upon the basic system function. For this part, we need to read a new height input from the user. To read the new height input, we need to use the immediate value 5 and then load into register V0, which is syscall for read integer. Then we do the syscall and move the value read into register T0 for the new height input. Lastly, we use while loop, which is jump back to the while loop label to continue checking the new input. Next is main for. For main for, the loop condition is I lesser or equal to n. We use BGT, register T1, register T0, exit. BGT is branch on greater. By using this instruction, we can check if I greater than n, which is the height, and exit the loop if true. When we need to do the loop, we need to initialize the loop counter j into I. We move register T2, register T1 to initialize the loop counter j to I, meaning j is the nested loop for I. Thank you.
Next, I will present about for and exit MRPS code. For the first line, we can see the BGT instruction, which is branch if greater than. The BGT instruction is used to compare the value in register T2 and register T0 and exit the loop if the value in register T2 is greater than register T0. For the next line, is used to load immediate value 4 into register V0, indicating a system call for printing a string. For the next line, is used to load address of space character into register A0. For the next line is syscall. Syscall is used to execute the print operation. And for the next line is add I. Add I is used to increment the loop counter register T2 by 1 in each iteration. For the next line is J for 1. J means jump, which unconditionally jump back to the beginning of the loop, which is starting from the for 1 and continuing the iteration until exit condition is met. For the last line, which is exit, the line is used to initialize the loop counter register T2 to 1. And it also presumably for the next iteration or subsequent code. So in summary, the code here is used to print the space character before we start printing the star symbol for the pyramid. Now we see for the next MRPS code, which is to print the star symbol for the first half of the pyramid. So we can see the first line. It used the BGT instruction also, which mean branch if greater than. So it compare the value in register T2 and register T1 and exit the loop if the value in register T2 is greater than register T1. For the next line, it's used to load the immediate value 4 into register V0, indicating a system call for printing a string. For the next line, is used to load address of star character into register A0. For the next line is syscall. Syscall is used to execute the print operation. And the next line is add I. Add I here will increment the loop counter, which is register T2 by 1 in each iteration. For the next line, we use jump instruction again, which is it will unconditionally jump back into to the beginning of the loop, which is starting from the for 2 and continuing until the iteration until exit condition is met. And for the next line is exit 2. Exit 2 is used to initialize the loop, which is initialize the loop register T2 to 1 and presumably for the next iteration or subsequent code. So in summary, this code is used to print the star symbol of the first half of the pyramid. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Khairul Amirin. Okay, now it's my turn to explain about the for tree. For tree is basically a loop that is labeled. For tree is basically a loop to print the second half of the triangle. So for tree loop start with BGT. BGT means branch if greater than. So basically, this line of code is used to check if J is more than I, and it will exit the loop if it's true. So the instruction checks if the value in register T2 is greater than the value in register T1. Then if it's true, then it will branch to exit 3 and then exit the loop. So inside these 4 tree loops, we use load address of the star into register A0. So it prints a star using system call for and load the address of the string star, which is already explained before, into A0 using load immediate register A0 star. Basically this line of code, as I point it using my cursor here. After printing a star, T2 is incremented by 1 and the loop jump back to the for tree. Basically it will go back to here. So when the condition in the branches greater than here is no longer true, it falls to the exit 3. So exit 3 in the next slide. Okay, we will go to the next slide. Okay, this is the exit 3 that I mentioned before. It is used to print a new line. So in this first line, we use load immediate here. As I point it using my cursor, in exit 3, it will load immediate value 4 into the register V0. It is a syscall for print the string. And then the second line, we use load address. It is to load address the end line into the A0. Basically, we will load a new line of character into the register A0. So it then increment T1 by 1, presumably updating the row count, and jumps to the main for. Main for is already explained in the previous slide. So after that, the program, after the pyramid already shows on the screen, it will exit the program using the load immediate register V0 10, and then it will syscall in the exit section. Syscall basically system call. So that's all from me. Thank you.